Hello. Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Professor.
Hi there. Howdy, howdy.
How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm not gonna complain. You know, everything's okay.
Yeah.
I'm safe. I'm safe and pretty healthy. Like I said, if I had any complaint, I'm just so ready for the winter break. I'm so ready for the semester to be over, but that's okay. Here we are. It's good to see you guys. It's always good to see you guys.
Always to see you, positive, Professor.
Working on it. I'm trying to stay positive. Sometimes I feel like I'm sitting at the computer like I can't do this anymore. But it's okay. Hey Rafi, hey Khalida, Fausia, Zainab, Bibi, how you guys?
Hi, good to see you.
Good. How are you?
I'm living. I'm here. I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, that's good news. It's better than you can, like, if you're alive, everything's good, like that's most important.
Right, but I don't know if you guys agree, but I think maybe my feeling, the way I feel is I think everybody's kind of ready for a break. So a few more weeks, you guys. Let's get it over with. Let's get it over with.
When is the break?
Our last Zoom meeting is December 7th. So that is 3 weeks from today. That is our last Zoom meeting. So yeah, we meet tonight and then 3 more times, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah, 23rd, 30th, and the 7th. Yeah, exactly. It'll be here. It'll be here soon.
Wow, it's good picture. Where is it?
Yeah, that's Santa Barbara, where my sister's house is, and I spend a lot of time since my mom died last year. I've spent a lot of time with my sister and her kids. So this is when I take the train to go see my sister. This is I'm sitting in the train, actually on the Amtrak train, but it runs right along the water, and this is just a park in Santa Barbara. So
Wow, it's so beautiful here.
yeah, it's nice. It's a little warmer than Sacramento, you know.
I don't know. I wasn't here. Actually, I wasn't anywhere. I'm just Sacramento.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll wait another minute or two and see who comes. Bibi says hi in the chat. Hey, Bibi.
Hi, baby.
But we'll see who else we have here. How are you guys? Since we have a small group and we're just kind of waiting, any ideas, any questions right at the beginning of class?
Good morning, Professor. Good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, Kamgar.
Hi.
Good morning. I like Kamgar. He's still got energy.
Yeah, for me it's morning.
Oh, do you work? You work at night, Kamgar?
Mostly.
Got it. That makes
Thank you.
sense. That makes sense. Good. Well, good morning then for you, Kamgar. Good morning just for Kamgar.
I have a question, Professor.
Thank you.
Sure, Bibi.
From my reading, I had two kind of comment. The first one was with the red line, and the second one with the green line. So what's the difference between red line and green line?
Green means
On my
good.
right.
Green means good. Red means mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'll say this to everybody. We got a few more people coming in. Arif's here and Kamgar's here. Someone else is coming in. But I think I need to finish 3 or 4 more grammar writing 2 assignments for grades, but I'm almost done. Yeah, so for people who are wondering, if there's a red line or a red box, this means there's a mistake, there's an error. If it's a green check mark or some green line, that means good analysis, things you did well. And then if people need more information about what to change, what to fix to revise for a higher score, send me a text message, send me an email. If you can, come to office hours. But as we get to the end of the semester, office hours get very busy. I had 7 students today. Yeah. I tried to label things to explain what the mistake was, but if you still need to know, okay, Jeff, what was my mistake? How do I fix it? Email, text, or come to office hours. Because today we're going to introduce grammar writing 3. Today's the day.
Excuse me, Professor, can I ask a question?
Of course, Rafi, please.
I think it's a basic question, but I think maybe I forgot. When I was doing the previous homework about the underline the verb.
Yes.
For example, if we have a sentence like I want to go, or I try to open the door, and when when I want to underline the verb, should I underline want to go, or the main verb is to go?
Well, first let me ask you, in this first sentence, I want to go, what's the main verb?
Go.
Go.
No? Want?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the verb.
Sorry.
This is the verb, and this is the infinitive. And remember, again, the reason that we talked about this a little bit, but the reason that we kind of stop, hold on, I got to make this bigger so we can see this. Sorry, I'm using my a different computer, so it looks a little different today. The reason that we know that this is true, let me go to format so I can make sure the color's clear here. Oops. Sorry about that. Let me make sure we get a different color. So here's my verb. Really, in a sentence like this, I want to go, even though this is a verb form, right? We've been calling these VF or verb forms. To go is in the infinitive, but you might, like I said, you might hear sort of advanced grammar or sort of advanced linguistics people tell you that really this infinitive is acting like an object, right? Because it's the thing that I want. Now, again, I'm not telling you that to go is a noun. I'm not going to make that argument, but some people might make it. So instead of going in this class, you know, in G310, instead of having a big fight about that, we can just say, okay, whatever it is, it's a verb in the infinitive form, right? It comes after the main verb. Wanting is the action. And then I get the word to, which usually is going to be a preposition. But when it goes before a verb form like this, the infinitive, the base form of the verb, then, you know, this to go is the infinitive. And here we have the same thing, right? Tried is the verb. And to open is the infinitive form. This sentence, again, this is why we don't talk about what actually this is, other than an infinitive, because then you could say, okay, tried is the verb. What's up with to open? The door is the door the object? What's going on with the infinitive? But again, for this level, we don't need to worry about this, right? The most important thing is if I say, I want to go, I like to listen, I need to learn, I whatever, then we've got the main verb and then the verb form that's in the infinitive after it. Does that answer your question, Rafi?
Yes, and thank you. Even though the second sentence open is the main verb about the actual meaning, because in
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You first go. Thank you. You first.
Well, I would say I think that actually, if you look at here, I think tried goes back to I, right? So again, I'd say here's my subject pronoun, my subject pronoun with its verb. I think I tried, and if I had to say the action of open, I think open actually connects back to the door, right? So I still think the main action here in terms of what is the subject doing? The subject is trying. Because let me ask this, Rafi, if I say I tried to open the door, did I open the door?
No, you tried.
Well, and we don't, I think maybe we don't know. Ina says no. I think that's a fair guess, but really I'd say it's not clear, right? It's not, we're not sure. I tried to open the door and it opened right away. I tried to open the door, but it was stuck and did not open, right? I think try is the main action, but if we had a regular sentence where the main action of the verb was just opened, then we'd just say, and here it's very clear, right here, you know, we don't even have any other verb form. So I think hopefully this example will show you the difference between, okay, well, it's sort of more clear when, and I'm gonna pull this, sorry. I want to make sure that I've got all my verbs the same here. Sorry, I'm not going to do this too much. But I think, again, hopefully the difference is clear here. If I say I tried to open, I want to go, it's not that I don't know if I went or not, right? But what I do know, because this is the subject and the verb, is we know that it includes me wanting something or wanting to do something. So even though it might feel like the main action is in the infinitive, it's not, right? That it's all about that want to go, need to learn, hope to visit, whatever. That the verb that comes before the infinitive is still going to be the main action of that sentence.
Thank you, Professor. I did this exercise about underlying verbs, but I'm not sure how I did. I don't remember.
I'll look at it. I feel really slow for grading this semester. I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
I can recheck how I did, right? Or I can open and
yeah, you can. You can.
I can.
I'll look at it. Yeah, you can. You can look at it, check your answers, or you can revise and resubmit. I think I was thinking about the last 3 weeks here. I think maybe I will send an announcement or people watching the recording at home. I think I'm just going to try to grade fast and then say, if you have questions or need more help, come to office hours, because trying to give all of the answers when I'm grading is just, it's taking me too long. So I don't like how it takes too long. I prefer you get your score and then come talk to me if you have questions. So I'm sorry, I really am for some assignments that are slow.
But like, yeah, if she didn't ask, I don't remember. I remember I did this, but I don't know. Like, I have to recheck tonight. I
It's all
tried
good.
this, but like my kids get infection, and they like, man, like this week was so crazy, and I
I
couldn't
know
meet him.
everybody's getting sick right now. I swear, it's crazy.
They get like some infection. It's like mold, hand infection. They coverage everywhere on the mold, like. Man, like in this all week I couldn't get to childcare, because sometimes I get to childcare like to get like do my, but like this week just.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. I hope everybody feels better. I hope your kids and family, I hope everybody's getting healthy. I know it's like I
Yeah.
said, let's just 3 more weeks. Let's do it. Let's finish. Let's get get it. Cool. Well, it's good to see you. I saw that we had a few more people come in. Who's here now? I'm opening up my window to see. Zuhal is here and Vanessa is here. And good to see you guys.
Hello, Professor.
Hi there, Zuhal. So yeah, today is Tuesday, November 16th, week 13. We're almost there, you guys. We are almost there. Here is my plan for tonight. I want to introduce Grammar Writing 3. I have good news for you and for me. Grammar Writing 3 will be the last big assignment for this class. If we need a little bit more practice, I can add a few more lessons into Canvas for people to practice. But this will be the last major assignment. Okay, so that's the good news. And then after I introduce the assignment, we look at it. Then I just want to practice some of those skills that I will ask you to do in Grammar Writing 3. I want to practice some of those skills together here in class tonight. So that is my plan for this evening. Again, I know we had just a few other people came in. Zuhra came in, Zuhal came in. Before I talk about Grammar Writing 3, are there any questions about old stuff? Old stuff, any questions?
Can I ask another question? Sorry.
Of course. No, of course, Rafi, please.
When a sentence starts with a transition word,
Go on.
and when we want to bold the subject phrase,
Go on.
and I think the transition word, it's not the subject phrase doesn't include the transition. Okay.
Yeah, and especially this is especially like we talked about. If you've got an introductory element, if you've got some introductory phrase that has a comma before it, right? In the past 2 years, my entire family has worked very hard to save a lot of money. Just a sort of, this is a question or a random example here, right? But for example, in the past 2 years, my entire family has worked very hard to save a lot of money. Where's my subject noun phrase? I think my internet was slow. I'm sorry. Yeah.
My entire family.
Excellent. Good. I love it. My entire family. And where's my verb phrase?
Worked.
Work very hard.
Has worked very hard.
Excellent. This whole thing is my verb phrase, right? All of this together. Remember, I was looking at Grammar Writing 2, but this is the VP. And then where's my verbs? My verb?
Works.
Work
Has worked.
Has
Excellent.
worked.
Good.
as is auxiliary.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Work is main verb.
And worked is the main verb. It's in the past participle, right? So you could label this
Yes.
past participle, that's fine, but it is worked is the main verb. And Rafi's question is, do I need to include this in the subject noun phrase? No. This only these three words, that's the NP, right? That's the subject noun phrase. This is just, again, this is just a prepositional phrase that has nothing to do with the subject noun phrase. Great question, Rafi.
Thank you.
Of course. Anybody else? Random questions like that one. Great question from Rafi. Anybody else? Ideas, questions before we talk about grammar writing 3? All right, let's talk about it. All right, so if you go to our, well, you can get there lots of different ways. Excuse me. My internet is a little slow, and then we'll go to assignments. And you can see it here, right? Grammar writing 1, 2, 3. On your page, it should show up as upcoming assignments now because there is a due date for it. I'll go ahead and click on student view. Right, so again, just like usual, here's the full explanation, all my good stuff, but I am going to go ahead and open up the Word document here. So again, preview, download, just like usual, but I've got mine on the desktop. So we're going to do it a little bit differently this time, and I'll show you why and how. All right. So grammar writing 3, as you probably can guess, right? We are going to look at lots of verbs and verb tenses here, right? So grammar writing 3, verb phrases, forms, and tenses. So instructions for this assignment. I'm asking you to analyze verb phrases, tenses, and forms. To do this, I'm asking you to, 1, analyze this paragraph. So right away, there's a big difference here, you guys. I am going to give you, or I have given you, the writing sample, okay? You don't need to analyze your own writing because I want to make sure you get to practice some specific verb tenses, okay? So I'm gonna give you the writing here. So here's the paragraph. You'll get to see it a lot. I'll read through it. Well, I'm going to wait to read through it when we look at it in the example. So first, you're analyzing this paragraph, not from another letter that you wrote, not from anything else that I wrote. I want to be clear for my people watching on the recording. This is it, right? This is what you are going to analyze. Now, for every sentence in this paragraph, I want you to, 1, identify all the verb phrases in each sentence. So again, we'll just keep practicing this. Identify all the verb forms in the verb phrases. So thinking about Rafi's great question, if I've got a simple sentence, I want to open the door. Want to open the door, that's my verb phrase. Want is my verb. To open is an infinitive, right? That's what I mean by verb forms. Or if we've got a verb that has an auxiliary, that's where you're going to identify the auxiliary. This is very similar to what you already did in grammar writing 2, but looking at the scores and looking at people's grades, I think we should practice a little bit more. So we're going to do that again. Then you're going to identify the verb tense of all the main verbs, right? You're also going to identify how and where the verb tense is marked. Now, I'm going to show you examples of what that means, but we've talked about that for the last few weeks. And then explain why this verb tense was used, right? This is not your writing, so I'm going to get rid of that second person pronoun here. Now, after you analyze the sentences, I want you to write a short reflection. We're going to keep it at 300 words about what you learned by analyzing writing that is not your own. To do this, you can answer some or all of the questions. What did you notice about these sentences? How did the author use different verb tenses? Are there any verb tenses that you're still confused about? How do you think you can use this awareness to write more effective sentences? And again, we've got examples for you to look at, especially for this part on page 3. Due dates. It is due 3 weeks from today, the last Zoom meeting of the semester. So Grammar Writing 3 will be due on December 7th. One thing I want to say about this, that is very close to the end of the semester. So if you submit it, if you wait to submit it until December 7th, I will do my best to grade it fast, but you're kind of taking a little risk because I don't know if I will be able to grade it and get it back to you for you to revise and resubmit for a higher score. So if you want to turn it in sooner, if you want to write your first draft and email me or come to office hours, right, and review your answers, we can do that together. So you can still revise and resubmit. But again, if you wait until the last day, December 7th, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight with time. So if you can finish earlier, submit it early or show it to me earlier, come to office hours earlier, then I can sort of tell you, hey, this looks good, fix this, fix that. So that's my invitation for you. And that's what I have to say about the due date. Okay. So again, the last possible day, Tuesday, December 7th. If you've got a first draft before that, send it to me and we'll look at it together. Grading is exactly the same as last time. 50 points for your analysis, 20 points for the editing of your own writing and your own sentences, 20 points for the reflection. And oops, this is a mistake from an old draft. Excuse me, I'll fix this. And your reflection is 300 words long. So exactly like it was for Grammar Writing 2, you guys. Okay, so I want to show you how to do this. But any questions about the due date or the grades or anything before I show you these examples, how to do this?
Professor, can I ask you?
Sure, Ina.
If so, like we cannot submit and first show it you, right? Like you can say like if it's correct, if everything, like if here is some mistake. So like before we submit, we can do that, right? In office
Yes.
hours.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, yeah, absolutely yes. And if you submit it even in Canvas, right? If you submit it in Canvas in 2 weeks or whatever, in a week, and just send me a text, Jeff, I submitted my first draft. I will look at it and give you your score right then so that you don't have to wait. So again, this is just for flexibility. If you're stressed, don't have time right now and need to wait, great. But if you can get this done and want feedback sooner, text me, come to office hours, submit the assignment in Canvas, and I can look at it whenever you're ready, okay?
Thank you.
Excellent question from Ina. Anybody else before we look at how to do this? How to do this? Let's look at how to do this. That's better. Okay, so again, this time I just copy and pasted. This is the same paragraph, you guys, from up here, right? Same paragraph. And this paragraph comes from a newspaper article. So again, this is real writing, right? This is real English writing that you'd see in real life, not from a textbook, right? So here's the paragraph, and then I'll show you how to do the grammar analysis here. And actually, I'm sorry, let me change this date so that it reflects the due date. Okay, so here's the paragraph. I'll read it and answer any vocab questions, that kind of thing. There has been a relentless quest to find sustainable energy sources in the past decades. One source of energy that has thus far eluded scientists is nuclear fusion. This is the holy grail of clean energy. For generations, physicists from all over the world have been trying to replicate this reaction. Scientists in the USA say they may have recreated the power of the sun for a minuscule fraction of a second. To accomplish this feat, powerful lasers were blasting a tiny target to create a reaction. The burst lasted just 10 trillionths of a second, but it created 10 quadrillion watts of power. 10 quadrillion is equal to 1 followed by 16 zeros. The power the scientists created is the equivalent of 6% of all the energy from the sun when it hits Earth's surface at any given moment. Okay, lots of science words, lots of science, all that stuff. But again, one reason that I'm giving this to you is to show you, even if you're like, I don't know what this text is about, there's some confusing vocabulary. Okay, but at this time in the semester, after 3 months, you're gonna be able to make some analysis of just the verbs and the subjects here because we practiced this so much. So that's the paragraph. I want you to analyze each sentence. I think it's 8 or 9 sentences, even though again, some are a little longer, but it's not too crazy. So let's look at the examples. So example number 1, there has been a relentless quest to find sustainable energy sources in the past decades. Now, again, I've already given you all of the answers for this first sentence. So really, you've only got about 7 sentences. So here's the VP, right? My subject is there, and the verb phrase is everything after it because we've only got 1 clause. So verb phrase 1 has been a relentless quest to find sustainable energy sources in the past decades. My verb forms are has is an auxiliary, been is the verb, it's in the past participle because of the verb tense. And just like Rafi's great question earlier, we've got an infinitive form to find, right? Now, what verb tense is the verb in? It's in the present perfect, right? Has been. And how do I know that? Again, how is the tense marked? Well, the auxiliary verb is in the present tense and the verb is in the past participle, right? Now, why this tense? Here, just do your best to sort of summarize why and how. But why is it in this tense? Well, I'm talking about something that started in the past and continues to be true into the present. So they started this relentless quest, this search, this goal to find sustainable energy in the past, and it is still happening, right? It is still happening in the present moment. So this one, I've done it completely for you. We're going to do the next sentence together too. But looking at this sentence and the way that I answered this, I want to make sure we take our time. Does this first example here make sense? What questions do we have? I'll give you a second to look at it. Looks good, makes sense? Okay, it's always good when I give you the answer, that's good. How about number 2? I'll just put this on the next page so we can see it all together. Sentence number 2 is a little interesting. Okay, sentence number 2. One source of energy that has thus far eluded scientists is nuclear fusion. Now, again, for this second sentence, I'm giving you this, right? I'm showing you in this Word document that is already in Canvas, I'm telling you there are 2 verb phrases. Now, this sentence is tricky, but I'm giving it to you, right? Oh, I forgot one thing, excuse me. Thank you. So the first verb phrase is, has thus far eluded scientists. And the second verb phrase is nuclear fusion. Okay, so let's look just at the VP1. Has thus far eluded scientists. You don't need to do this in the Grammar Writing 3 assignment, but together to understand right now, what's the subject noun phrase for this verb phrase? Has the what? Yeah, what has thus far eluded scientists?
Source of energy
Give me another guess.
that has
Energy.
Fauzia, did I hear you? What did you say, Fauzia?
Source of energy that has.
And it's actually the subject noun phrase is this word that, right? Now, this is really difficult. That's why I've given you the answers for where the verb phrases start, because this is one of those examples of a sort of embedded clause, right? Here, the subordinator is also a pronoun that is acting like a subject, because we definitely have two verbs. Do we agree, right? We've got has thus far eluded. Thus far is an adverb, right? But has eluded, that's our verb. And then I've got another verb, is, right? So if I've got two full verbs, that means I need to have two full subjects. So let's go back to when people were talking about one source of energy. One source of energy is a subject noun phrase, but which verb is this subject noun phrase connected to? I'll put this in the comments here. Because notice, remember, another test that we can do, we've done this all semester, is if I imagine getting rid of this clause, right, that has thus far eluded scientists, I'm going to cut this. One source of energy is nuclear fusion. Does this look like a nice grammatical sentence? I hope so.
Yes.
Right? So this is again another example where if I only had the sentence with, this is a simple sentence, right? One verb, one subject, simple sentence. But one thing that we do all of the time, unfortunately, in English is we can embed or sort of put clauses inside of clauses. Again, we've talked about this a little bit, but it's not always as simple as after the rain stopped, comma, I went to the store. It's not always that clear and obvious. The verbs are your big clues, right? Has thus far eluded. Well, what has thus far eluded? This pronoun, right? This is both a subordinator and a subject pronoun. And we'll get more practice with this for the next few weeks. But again, I wanted you to start to see some of this. So in this first verb phrase, has thus far eluded scientists, I'll do the same thing. Subject, and remember in your essay, you guys, in your assignment, you don't need to tell me the subject verb phrase. It's all good. I just want to make sure you can see this clearly in the recording. So in my verb phrase here, has thus far eluded scientists, what are my verb forms?
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah.
That refer to what?
That is the $1 million question of English grammar, Rafi. Because really,
I mean, in this sentence.
Well, no, but here's my what I think. Now, again, different people will have different opinions. I think this is a pronoun, and it actually is a pronoun for the noun that already came before it. English is weird because it allows you to do this. That's my opinion, Rafi. I think that is a pronoun and that it's referring back to this subject NP. But because we create a pronoun and we connect that pronoun to another verb, now we have an entirely new clause, right? And this is something, I'll put it in the chat, but this would be much more like a G320 lesson. This is if you've ever seen something called relative clauses. Watch a YouTube video or Google it online. It's very hard for native English speakers, you guys. It's really, really tricky, these relative clauses. But again, if to answer your question the short way, Rafi, I think it's a pronoun. And I think it's connecting back to the noun phrase that already came before it. Okay. But English allows you to put these clauses inside clauses. And that's what's really unique about this type of sentence.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. And go to G320 if you really want to go deep on this stuff, go to G320. It can get pretty complex. So excellent question from Rafi, but let's just stick to this again. Verb phrase 1. What are my verb forms just in this group of words? Has thus far eluded scientists. Where are my verb forms? Hopefully
Has.
one is, thank you. I was going to say, hopefully one is very obvious.
Yes,
And
has
and what
uneluded.
is good? And has is, what is has?
Auxiliary,
Thank you.
eluded the
And
verb.
good, excellent. Thank you, Kamgar. Great. And what verb tense do we have?
Present, past perfect.
Perfect.
Present or past perfect?
No,
Present
present.
perfect.
Excellent, I agree. And this is where, oops, excuse me. And this is where we're going to find out how we know for a fact, right? So how do we know where is the tense marked? Has is what?
Has is the mark, yeah, the tense mark.
What tense?
Perfect. Present perfect.
Thank
Present
you. Even
perfect.
just present, right? The has is the present tense form of the auxiliary verb have, right? So has is in the present tense. And then what form do we have for eluded?
Past participle.
Thank you. Great. And how do we know? We can kind of copy what we talked about for number 1, but how do we know that, or I'm sorry, why are we using the present perfect in this sentence?
It's
We
still
can,
as a start.
good. I was
You're talking about starting and still continue, right?
exactly right. I was going to say, for the ones that are the present perfect, this will look very familiar for all your answers, right? Talking about something that started in the past and continues to be true. It has eluded people, and for now, it is still eluding them. It's not clear, it's not certain. And eluded means like a runaway. And we talk about this like, I'm chasing this idea, I'm chasing this research goal, but it is eluding me. I can't find it, I can't get it, right? That's the meaning here. So this would be, and again, here's another verb phrase for you, but this is a perfect analysis of this first verb phrase, right? The verb forms are has in the auxiliary and eluded is the verb. It's in the present perfect tense. How do I know that? Well, the has is in the present tense and eluded is the past participle. That is the exact definition of the present perfect tense. And why this tense? Well, we're talking about something, I could change it to the article, is talking about something that started in the past and continues to be true in the present. Good. Let's do the last one since it's much easier. Is nuclear fusion? What are my verb forms?
Is.
Good.
To be.
People like, yeah.
Be.
Well, you don't need to change it. You can just keep the verb exactly as it is in the verb phrase. So in the verb phrase, it's is, right? And what tense?
Present.
Yep. Where is the tense marked?
Is.
Is.
And how do we know? This is where I want you to think a little bit. Tell me more. How do we know that this is the present tense of the verb be? There's one big clue.
Nuclear fission, so it means be is explaining the.
Let me ask this. The subject in this verb phrase, is the subject first person, second person, or third person?
Third person, because we use is.
Thank you, baby. You just said it. I was going to say, and it's third person. Is it plural or singular?
Singular.
Singular.
Exactly. So we could say something like is the present simple form for the third person singular subject, right? So that's, and Bibi, you said it kind of perfectly, right? This is third person singular. It ends with an S, right? These are kind of all big clues to you. Okay, this is showing me third person singular present tense of the be verb, right? This is just the way that the be verb works in English. And now, why are we using this tense when we say one source of energy that has thus far eluded scientists is nuclear fusion. So one source of energy is nuclear fusion. Why are we using the simple present tense here, you guys?
Because it shows the reality.
Good. Anybody else want to add? It shows reality when? Past, present, or future?
No,
Present.
present.
Yep. And remember, words that you've heard me say many times in different textbooks, you've heard it too, things that are generally true, right? Like we use the present simple to talk about the present moment, things that are habits, right? I wake up at 6 o'clock every day, right? Okay, present simple, and things that are just generally true. Grass is green, the sky is blue, clouds are fluffy, whatever, right? If it's generally true, we'll use the present simple verb tense. So for why the present simple? Well, they use the present simple tense because this is reality in the present moment, comma, and it is generally true, right? Those are big clues for present simple, present simple, present simple. Cool. And then for number 3, I've just set you up to show you the sentence, and then I've set you up for the boxes here. Okay. So we we just did the first 2 sentences together, right? So your job for grammar writing 3 is to do the rest of these, find as many verb tenses and verb phrases, as you can. And don't forget, right? Keep looking for verbs. I will give you another hint, my beautiful people here with me, my people watching the recording. There's one other sentence that has one of these embedded clauses, like in sentence 2. Okay, so be on the lookout for that one. And just like last time, you guys, download the file from Canvas and just use the doc, use it, right? I would love, oh, excuse me, hold on 1 second. So again, go into Canvas, go into the assignment sheet, download it, and just start typing in that document, right? Use my template, make your life easy, Okay, any questions about grammar writing 3? And then I want to look at some more sentences, not from this article, but I do want to keep practicing this same activity so that we feel comfortable with it. So any questions at all?
Excuse me, Professor.
Please, Rafi.
Like before, should we analyze 8 sentences?
I want you to analyze the rest of this paragraph, Rafi. So there's
all of these.
Exactly. So that's 1 sentence, 2 sentence, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 sentences left, right? We just did the first 2 together, and there are 7 sentences left. But again, just remember, you guys, I'm trying to make this very clear. That does not mean there are only 7 verb phrases. Remember, they're not all just simple sentences. You've got some complex sentences. You've got some compound sentences. So remember, be on the lookout. You'll see other sentences that look like sentence 2, where I've labeled for you here, right? Verb phrase 1, and then you'll have another box, verb phrase 2. So great, important question from Rafi. Does that make sense, you guys? Rafi's question and my answer. Does that make sense?
Yes, and like you should be separate.
Yeah, make it look exactly like this, Raf. You know what I mean? So I've just, so here's sentence 3, and this one does, I won't type the answers in, but where's my verb in this sentence?
Is.
Thank you. Thank you. And what's the verb form? Is the only verb, so it's the verb. What tense is it in?
Present.
Thank you. Thank you. How do I know? How is the tense marked?
Because it's
You got it.
It's
You got it.
real.
Thank you, baby. You got it. Is the third person singular present for the verb be, right? Always.
Yes.
And then we could say, the answers for this one, verb phrase to, and the answers here will look very similar. And then you would just do the same thing, Bibi, right? Like, for example, you could just go here, copy this, and I'll paste it. And then instead change sentence 4, right? And here you'd go, this is just how I would do it, you guys. Then you go back up to sentence 4, copy this. Oops, put this on a new page so it looks a little prettier. And get rid of this sentence. And paste that one, right? And then, if you have more than one verb phrase, you could copy this chart. And just paste it back in and change it to verb phrase to, right? So that's how I hope how you should do it, right? Make your life easy, do it that way, okay? Great question from Rafi. Other questions? Bibi, did you have a question?
No, thank you, Professor.
You got it. Vanessa is asking, is the example on modules? It's not on modules, Vanessa. It's right here on the assignment page. So I've got the assignment instructions here, right, for grammar writing 3. But if you go to preview download, when you click download, Vanessa, it will be this exact same document that we're looking at. It will be exactly this document when you click download right here. Okay, so that's where to find it. You've got it. You are very welcome, Vanessa. Cool. Other questions before we practice a little bit?
How can I add more pages on this?
What do you mean add more pages?
Like this is not enough for me. I have to like.
Oh, so yeah,
do
if you
7 more.
if you go to, I'll zoom out here so you can see. But eventually, right, if you're in Word document or if you're in Google Docs, if you just keep going down the page, it'll just start a new page for you, Fazia.
Okay.
So just keep, do you use Microsoft Word or do you use Google Docs?
Google Docs, like you showed me last time.
Yes, exactly. It will do the exact same thing, Fazia. So just what I would do if you're using Google Documents is, so for that one, I would go to this document here, right?
Mhm.
And I would just choose everything, right? I'm using my mouse to choose everything. And maybe you don't need this. This is just my notes. And then I would right click. Now, again, I like to live in my second language, so I'm in Spanish, but copiar is copy, right? So you'd right click and then choose copy. And then you could go into your Google Docs and just paste it right into a document. So it would look like, let's see if it attaches to my, hold on 1 second. I'm just trying to help you guys learn Spanish, you know what I'm saying? So once you're in once you're in Google Docs, you could just go to
Other marketing, sir.
SO, exactly. Click paste. Oh wait, did I not copy it successfully? So we'd go to, again, select everything here.
Professor, you can select Control C.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I agree. Ina's talking about the different way. You can do Control C, Control V, Control X. You got lots of different options, but you could do right click, copy paste. You could do Control A, Control C, Control V, lots of different shortcuts on your keyboard. But I think for people who are still learning the computer, do it on your mouse, right? Right click, copy and paste, and then you've got a document that looks like this. Does that help, Fazia?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
And then make sure you change your name though, right?
I will.
Okay, perfect.
Your name. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. I do my own homework. You guys know that. Okay. Any other great question from Fazia? Any other questions about grammar writing 3 before we practice tonight?
Professor, so like
Yes.
if I do in a PDF format, right? I can like open document in PDF format, just like copy and paste here, right?
maybe I would just do Word. I don't know. I don't use PDF because Adobe always wants me to pay for it. So I think Google Docs is better because it's free and it's easier to edit the text. That's
Okay.
just my opinion though, Ina. If you're a PDF expert, go for it. That is
No,
amazing.
really export in this Google Doc. So like
Yeah.
I did before. Did you open it like before I did?
I'll look at it. Oh, the other thing that I should say
Yeah.
for my Google Docs people, right? Once you're in Google Docs, don't forget that you can, after you have it and you need to submit it, right? You can go to File, Download, and then you can download it as Microsoft Word, or like Ina's talking about, you can download a PDF of it. But to submit your document, Fauzia, now I'm thinking of you here. You're in the document. Let's say you're done. File, Download, Microsoft Word, and then it'll, for me, it goes up to here where it downloads, and then you can submit that doc. Now you have the file, right? Now you've got a document file that you can submit in Canvas. That's how I would do it, Ina.
Yeah, Professor. Sorry, I have Google Doc. I'm stupid. I didn't realize it's like
You are not stupid at all.
I just check it and it's like shows like Google document. It's same things like you have. I just
Hey.
not much know in computer.
Oh, it's great. No, it's really I think it's one really wonderful thing about if you go to the Los Rios, right? You pay for it when you pay for these classes, you pay for your, hold on one second. You when you get your single sign in here, why does it want, Los Rios updated their system and now it's really hard it makes us extra steps to log in. It's good to be safe. I'm not complaining. Hold on one second. I'm logging in. I'm not texting my friends while I'm looking at my phone here, you guys. Okay, remember the Google, if you click on Google Drive here, guys, this is free. This is part of what you pay for, is to have access to Google Drive. This is what mine looks like. I've got a lot of stuff in here. But then all you need to do once you're in Google Drive, again, go to Google Drive and your Los Rios stuff will be up here. Here's my Los Rios stuff. And then you just click New Document. There you go. That's how to do it. That's how to do
Probably
it.
in this program. I don't know. I confused,
You'll-
but I do. If you saw like some text last assignment from me in
Yep.
this, if it's open it, then it's working because I don't know other way how to do that.
Got it. Yeah, you got it. And then, always, if you guys need a little bit more extra computer help, you can text me or email me. Okay, should we practice? I think we should practice a little bit. If you've got questions about the instructions and stuff, we can talk about them in a moment. But I wanted to practice this since you'll be doing it for Grammar Writing 3.
Yes, please, Professor.
Bibi's like, let's go now. Okay. Give me 1 second to change the formatting here. Okay. So I've got these sentences are also from a real sort of online article, and I'll make this bigger so we can see it here. Okay, so I'm not going to do the full okay, so let's just start. Remember, we need verb phrase. I'll make this bigger in 1 second here. We need verb forms. Okay, we need verb forms. Verb tense. I'm slow tonight, you guys, forgive me. tense, tense marked, and why this tense? Okay, so let's just practice this. I'll make it a little bigger here. So here's the first sentence. Portugal, that Portugal is a country. You guys might know this, might not, whatever. Portugal has introduced the new privacy law after receiving many complaints during the lockdown. So what do we got? Where's my verb?
Has.
Has.
Just has?
Hasn't.
Has introduced.
Has
Okay.
introduced. Yeah.
I think I agree. Let's find out. So I'll make this red so we feel good about this. Okay. And where's my subject noun phrase then?
Portugal.
Thank you.
Portugal.
I agree. Good. Portugal has introduced the new privacy law after receiving many complaints during the lockdowns. Do we have any other clauses after the verb? Do we have clauses or not?
No.
Nope.
No, what? Just one.
I agree. We've got something that looks like a verb, but I don't think we've got a subject to match it. So the whole, since we've only got one subject, one verb, we've got a simple sentence. That means the verb phrase and everything after it, the verb and everything after it is our verb phrase, has introduced a new privacy law after receiving many complaints during the lockdowns. What are my verb forms?
Pass.
Present.
Good.
Perfect.
Has is
Has.
what?
The verb is past.
Auxiliary.
Introduced.
Past form.
We'll talk about that in a second. First, we're just going to label the verb form. So has is a verb form, it's an auxiliary. Introduced is a verb form, it's the main verb. We've got one other thing that's looking like a verb form to me. What is it? You got it. I think I heard Kamgar starting to say it.
Receiving.
Yes. And what's this one?
This is present form. Or,
Present what?
Present
Participle.
continuous.
Continuous.
Thank you. Present participle, right?
Oh, participle.
This is why we're practicing. It's all good. Make this a little bigger. Okay, so what verb tense do we have?
Present participle. Present perfect.
Present
I
perfect.
agree. Absolutely, right? Has introduced, present perfect. So where's the tense marked? Has is what?
Hasn't introduced.
Present.
Has is the present
Yep.
simple.
Has is the present simple, and introduced is what?
The past participle.
Yes, there we go. Kamgar loves the past participle. That's exactly right. And why did we use this tense? We've talked about this in our other examples today. Why
Yeah,
did we use this tense?
an action which is resulted in a person continuing the present.
Yep. That's it. So this would be our sort of grammar writing 3 style analysis of this sentence. We've only got one verb phrase, right? And here it is. That's the whole verb phrase. We've got 3 verb forms. We've got an auxiliary has. The main verb is introduced, and receiving is the ing form of the verb. But in this case, it's not really a verb, and it's not really a gerund, right? After receiving many complaints during the lockdowns, this can't be a subject. We could maybe call it a gerund. Maybe it's a noun, but it's definitely not a subject because we don't have a verb that comes after it, right? We just basically have a sort of prepositional time phrase here at the end of the sentence. And then we've got our verb tense as present perfect. You guys explained this beautifully. We know it's present perfect because the auxiliary has is in the simple present tense and introduced is in the past participle. And we use this verb tense because it started in the past and continues in the present. So again, if this was your analysis of this sentence, 100%, no mistakes, perfection. I'm ready for the next sentence. Are you guys? Questions about this first sentence?
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes, Rafi.
If we add, for example, after Portugal, if we add Portugal is the Portugal, that is the first country has introduced.
Yep. Now I've got clause. And now my subject noun phrase, for the verb, Rafi, would be this, what I'm going to call, again, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, but people will disagree. It would be that pronoun, right? It would be this pronoun, that. That's what it would be. Does that make sense? Even though it's strange, I think you're feeling your way around it like from earlier, but you're on it. That's exactly correct. And for other people, you don't need to worry about this too much for G310. You'll see it in G320, but Rafi, you're exactly correct.
And now in this situation, we have two sentences, two clauses.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
One sentence, but we do have two clauses.
Okay, thank you. Two clauses.
Yep. And I'll ask, hopefully, even if you're looking at this sentence going, oh my God, Rafi, why did you do this to us? Why? I'll ask you a question though. If this has two clauses, is it compound or complex?
I think
Compound.
Complex.
complex
It is complex. And why is it complex?
because it's connected together, right? It's like
But with a subordinator or a coordinator, Ina?
Subordinator.
support.
Kamgar's helping you out. Yeah. Remember, if it's not a fanboy, it's not a coordinator. If it's not a fanboy, it's not a compound sentence, right? This is just a little short review to help you guys remember, right? So one reason that clauses, right, relative clauses are so confusing is they're not obvious conjunctions, right? Again, for us at G310, we're much more comfortable with the fanboys and the coordinating conjunctions. We love for and so, and even though because is a subordinator, we still love because, right? But when it gets really kind of weird, when the subordinators get weird, it is obviously more difficult. And that's why, again, I'm not grading you on this, okay? But Rafi's question is, as always, Rafi is a very fast learner and wants to always test out new ideas, which I love. I totally love it. I totally love it. Any other questions about this example before we look at this next sentence? All right, I'll get the next one ready. All right, here's the next one. An increasing, let me make sure we can actually read it, forgive me. An increasing number of employees are working remotely because of COVID-19. Where is our verbs? Where are they?
Working.
Are working.
Good. Excellent, excellent. Yes, are working. I'm gonna make this orange while I get used to the new one. I know we're usually red. I'll make it red, it's better. Okay, yes, are working. Where's our subject noun phrase?
An increasing number of employees.
Excellent. Bibi gave me every word before the verb, and I totally agree. An increasing number of employees are working. So increasing here, it looks like a verb form, but is it in the verb phrase?
No.
No, it is not. So we don't even need to worry about it. It's not, in this case, increasing isn't a verb. and it's not a gerund, it's not a noun. What part of speech is this increasing?
Adjective.
Subject noun phrase.
Yes, I heard Rafi and Bibi, I think, saying, yes, ing words. I said this to some of you guys in your grammar writing too. Man, analyzing INGs is difficult because in English we use it so many ways. Here, increasing is an adjective describing the noun worker. Well, I mean, actually, I think increasing is probably modifying number. So an increasing number of employees is the prepositional phrase. So even within the subject noun phrase, there's a lot of interesting grammar going on, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what, you don't need to worry about verb form for increasing because it's not in a verb phrase. If it's not in a verb phrase, you guys, don't even worry about it for this activity, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so our verb phrase is now are working. Do we have any other, do we have another clause after the verb phrase, or is this it?
No, we don't have it.
Yep, I agree. So really, we've got a simple sentence here, right? One subject, one verb. So what are our verb forms? What do we got?
Also,
ing form,
the present.
continuous,
Simple
present
continuous.
progressive.
Okay, I was gonna say, if we're not sure about verb forms, let's start with the verb tense. What tense do we have here?
Present progressive.
Present.
Yes. And how do we form the present progressive? We need, what do we need to make the present progressive?
To be
First,
plus
Verb
full form of
ing.
ing.
we need to be, which is an auxiliary verb. So here, are is the auxiliary,
Auxiliary.
and working is what?
The ing form of the verb.
Yep, it's the verb, right?
Verb.
Verb tense, present continuous, or progressive, doesn't matter. I don't care, whatever you call it. Now, where is the tense marked? This is where we get to talk about the ing. So are, what verb tense is this in?
Or present.
Yep.
And working is simple.
Oh, excuse me, I messed up here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, I got confused. I confused myself. So are is the present simple tense, and then working is what?
Present continuous.
What do we call this? If we talk about the past participle and the ing is the
Present participle.
exactly right, right? So where is the tense marked? Well, are is in the present simple. ing working is the present participle. That is exactly how we make the present continuous tense, right? That's exactly how we make present continuous, present progressive. And why this tense? Why do we use present progressive?
Because the action is in progress, in duration.
Yep. That's exactly right. So our verb phrase, are working remotely because of COVID-19. The verb forms, we have an auxiliary are, we have working is the main verb. We know that this is the present continuous, present progressive tense. Where is the tense marked? I'll make sure this is more clear. Well, the tense is marked because are is the simple present tense of the verb be. We could add this just for even more details, right? And then working is the present participle. And why this tense, just like Kamgar said, they use this tense in the article because the action is in progress. It is still happening right now. Questions?
I have a question.
I'm ready.
When can we use this sentence in the past tense?
Lee, you want to look at an example? You want to try giving me an example here?
No, I'm asking, do you
Okay.
think when we can use this sentence in the past tense? When? Do you think when? Next year?
Many years from now.
Oh, when will we be able? Rafi, I thought Rafi was asking a grammar question.
No.
Rafi was saying, when do we get out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's say in a few months, comma, we will be able to say that in the past, an increasing number of employees were working remotely. Here's my idea, Rafi. In a few months, I did read that in Washington, DC, they're going to say no masks indoors for most events. So I thought that was very good news. If we're taking the mask off in movie theaters and restaurants and more stuff, then hopefully we'll get back to normal. I'm tired, Rafi. I'm with you. I'm tired.
Thank you.
Too much digital life. So here's my collaboration with Rafi, and I changed it to the past progressive, right? We're working. In a few months, we will be able to say that in the past. Notice how I put that. I don't even want to make that hard. I'll just make it a quote. Yeah, how's that, Rafi?
Thank you.
Yes, I love Rafi's question. Any grammar questions about this second example? We do have time to do another third sentence too. But any questions about this one we did together? Let's do one more. I'm gonna keep me and Rafi's collaboration here. I think we get one with maybe more than one verb phrase here. So let's take a look. All right. A research company estimated that the number of remote workers will nearly double to 32% of the global workforce by the end of 2021, compared to 17% in 2019. Let's just start by looking for verbs. We've got a lot of words here, but what are the actual verbs? And I know Rafi is already thinking, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, what's going on here? So where's our, yes, good, I heard it, right? And where's my subject NP for that verb?
Company.
Excellent.
A research company.
Thank you, good.
Like
No,
research company.
Ina's got it. Ina gave us our one word noun, but the whole subject noun phrase is a research company, right?
Yeah.
Now, do we have another verb?
Yes, will double.
Thank you. Yes, good. Now we do have an adverb in the middle there, but Bibi, you're on it. Now here's the question, and it's a really good example. What's our subject NP?
That the number of remote workers. That is a conjunction.
That is not.
Exactly. Now, Bibi just said it. Now, in this example sentence, it's not as scary and weird as our first one from today, because here, that is just a subordinator, right? It is not acting like a pronoun, right? It's not taking a verb. It is just a subordinator. And again, if you want a deep, I'll say this really quickly if you care, but this is giving you a clue that we could call this, again, we could call this, all of these words together. These are kind of, again, another example of how this is acting like an object, right? All of this together. A research company estimated something, right? It estimated that. It estimated it. It estimated something. And when you see this, that's that something test that I've been talking about for 3 months. It's so useful because it's so powerful to help us understand how to group our words together, right? So if you've got that feeling where this group of words, it comes after the first verb phrase, it's kind of acting like the thing that was estimated, then you probably don't, then in this case, that is probably just acting like a subordinator, and it's connecting and linking the verb phrase to what's acting like an object noun phrase. But again, don't worry about it too much, right? In this case, we do have a much more clear example of a group of words that is a noun phrase that comes before the verb phrase. And here that, I'm gonna make it purple like I usually do for our subordinators, right? I can make a nice purple, there we go. So again, we'll call this a conjunction. So I've got two clauses linked by a subordinating conjunction. Is this compound or complex sentence?
Complex.
Thank you. Ina says complex. She is exactly correct. I'm just checking my time so I don't keep you too late. Let's do this really quickly here. All right, so the first VP1, right?
Mhm.
It's just estimated, right? That's it, because after estimated, then we get our conjunction. So VP1 is just the word estimated. It is verb form. Estimated is the verb. You guys like this one. Verb tense. I want to make sure I get my order here right. Yep. What verb tense is this in? A
Past
research
tense.
company estimated.
Past
Thank
tense.
you.
Past
Simple
tense.
past.
That is exactly correct. And where's the tense marked? This is one that's hopefully easy. How do we know it's the past tense? What does it end with? Thank
ED.
you. Exactly correct. And why this tense?
Because it's happened in the past.
And is done or continued?
It's
Done.
done.
That's it.
No.
That's it. That's it. Now let's look at the second verb phrase too, and then get out of here. Well, Vanessa's coming with me to 325, but you guys are coming out of here. Okay, so now we've got a much longer one, right? All of this is the next verb phrase, right? So where are our verb forms here?
Will, double,
Yep, and what's will?
auxiliary,
Auxiliary.
Doubled is what?
I mean verb,
Yep. Any other verb force? Excuse me, verb force. Any other verb word or verb forms?
something. And
It's tricky. No, by the end of 2021, this is
Okay.
by the end is a prepositional phrase, of 2021 is a prepositional phrase. You could maybe say that this is the past participle. It's the verb compare and the ed, but it's not really something we've studied and I'm not too worried about it. So either one, I mean, just for, we could say compared is the past participle. But it doesn't really matter too much, right? Because what verb tense is this in?
Future.
this is future tense.
Yes, this class, you are making me so happy. How do we know? Where is it marked?
Because of
Well.
auxiliary will and
You
Well.
are,
first form of the verb.
you are some of my favorite humans of all time. I love you all. And why did we use this tense?
Because we are talking about the future.
The action will be happen. We are not sure.
Yep, we're talking about the future, action that may or may not happen in the future. That's it, you guys. I'm so happy. You guys did so well. And so there, I will, again, I'll warn you now for grammar writing 3, there are 2 or 3 sentences that are very tricky. You will not be able to do them in 10 minutes like we just did. You've got 3 weeks, go slow, ask questions if you need help, okay? But what we just did in class, that's what you're doing for grammar writing 3. That's it.
Thank you very much. Have a great night,
Bye.
everyone.
Come guys, like, bye, I'm out.
I have to go somewhere, sir.
Oh, get out of here, go to work. Good morning, Kamgar, bye.
Thank
See you
you.
next class.
I'm gonna stop the recording.